Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Happy Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. Yeah, SOS Live is always on Thursday. Um, yeah, welcome to SOS Live Systems Operations Scaling. This is a place where founders can come to get free advice, free game, um, insight, all of the things that can really help you change the way that you run your business this week. Um, it's season 2. Yup. And this season, I really want to focus on pulling back the curtain on things that actually drive growth. And specifically, I want to make sure that in this season, I am answering questions and diving deep into topics that I've been talking about with other founders. So the topics from this season are coming from conversations that I've had in comments, conversations that I've had in DMs, where founders are just like, I just can't figure this part out, or they may be stuck on something, or there's like a mindset shift that they may need to make. And once I see it happen with like 2, 3, 4, same in the comments, same in the DMs, then I'm like, okay, you know what, we're gonna do an episode on this. So today you've seen the episode title. We're talking about decision fatigue, because I truly believe this is like where vision goes to, right? This is where visions crumble. This is where creativity starts to diminish, all of these things when you start to get into the realm of decision fatigue. So it can feel like there's so many things going on in your head as a founder. Like seriously, I feel like starting a business, running a business is like the um ultimate and continuous self-development journey. Like you cannot take a day off. And so there's a lot of times where things feel chaotic, or new things come up because new heights, new levels, but also, especially if you came from the corporate space like I did, there's a lot of changes and a lot of things going on in your head. When things start to get shaky and things start to get chaotic, sometimes the thought can be like, oh, I'm getting a little lazy, or whatever the case may be. But when you're really trying to figure out where things are falling through the cracks, a lot of it is because you are making so many decisions in a day, and that part is normal, but the thing is, you're also making a lot of decisions during the day that aren't even moving the needle forward. So I talked about in some of my videos this week, I was talking about like how much of a like my brain just works in systems. I simplify as many things as possible. I make as few decisions as possible, and I reserve the decisions that I make for my business. So, you get to the end of the night, you're like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat? Oh my gosh, what should I eat? What should I eat? Oh, what should I eat? And you're like racking your brain. You try to go to work, back to work after that, and you've used already a lot of your decision making power, right? So I eliminate a lot of decisions just in my normal everyday, like day-to-day life, but you can also like eliminate these in your business as well. So yeah, it's just your mental battery is finite. Like you can only do so much, you can only do so much, you can only do so much. And so yeah, from an operations angle, like at work, for sure. Like again, like I was saying, my outfit, capsule wardrobe. You will see this jean jacket all the time. You will see this same black shirt all the time. I have this same black shirt actually in 3 colors because I only wear black, white, beige, and blue. And that way I can just choose any top, any pant, any whatever, and it all matches. It's all in the same thing. Same thing in the gym. If you've ever been to the gym and it's like hard enough to get there. Okay, it was hard enough to get here. Now I got here and now I have to think about what I'm going to do. Write your workouts down. This is like the beauty of having a trainer, right? They just tell you, boom, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And you get to not think about it and you just get to do the things. And that frees up a lot of things. Now, there's people who are like the opposite, the visionaries, like who need a lot of open space in the brain and like creatives. Um, if you're trying to do both, I will never sit here and tell you that something is impossible. That's that's fine. Everything is possible, right? If you can think it, it can exist. If you can think it, it probably already exists, right? And so I'm not here to tell you that things are absolutely impossible and it will never be able to, you'll never be able to achieve something. That it's not the case, but what you do have to realize is that the creativity side and the like systems thinking side, those things, when you have to operate both of them at the same time, one, you're losing a lot of time in the switching, right? That's why even like on an assembly line, there's multiple people, but each person is only doing one task because they don't have to switch their brain. It's just put the cap on, put the cap on, put the cap on, put the cap on, put the cap on. And it's over and over like that to save time. Now, when we're talking about visionary versus like very systems data thinking, if you are trying to cut off your visionary thinking, right? Your visionary thinking is probably this big. That's how you're able to start your business, right? It's literally expansive. Great. And now you're trying to shrink that visionary capacity so that you can also have time to use the operating capacity. But the thing about scaling a business is that your operating capacity needs to be this big too. And so now you have two things fighting against each other, right? And again, if that's how doing both is I mean, probably possible, but it's like, how long is it going to take you when you are doing both things at max capacity versus just zooming in on your zone of genius? So I know it can, like, you can start to think to yourself, well, if I just push harder and get more organized, like I can do it. Um, but a lot of times it's not really like a discipline thing. Like it's really just a systems thing. And so creative work is expansive. Ops work, people say that it's restrictive. I don't like to use the word restrictive because I feel like it actually opens you up a little bit more. But if you are a visionary, if you are a creative, I can totally understand how ops work can feel very restrictive, but it's very difficult to like grow and contain at the same time. Like every email reply, every client decision, every small fix, it's all of those things add up. And then by 2 p.m., you don't even feel like being creative anymore. And so you'll start to find yourself skipping workouts, skipping different ideas. Ideas are falling through the cracks. You might be micromanaging your team, and it's not because you are not a good leader, or yeah, it's not because you're not a good leader. It's just your brain's bandwidth is just literally tapped out. And I know we started businesses because we have this idea, but you didn't start your business to be the busiest person in your business. You started to build something that can move without you, even when you're resting. And being able to understand where your zone of genius is and standing squarely in that is a very, very, very important piece. So I'm going to walk through, and I'm just looking at my notes over here. I'm going to walk through 3 steps that you can take to get to some decision relief. Okay, so step one is to systemize the small stuff. The small stuff, right? I talked about even starting like with my outfits. That means by the time I get to start working in the morning, I really have not made any decisions. I have not made any decisions. Everything was spelled out for me already. All I had to do is put this on, eat this, drink this, whatever, cool, not a lot of decisions. So eliminate as many small choices so that you have capacity to make the bigger ones, the more important ones, especially if you're on a team. If you have a team as well, you want to have those small decisions off of your plate, off of your plate. The important ones that literally cannot be made by anyone but you, those are the ones that you keep. The other ones you need to outsource. Again, this is like, okay, so let me give a couple examples of this as well. SOS Live is every Thursday at 1. I don't have to think about it, right? Certain things I do at certain times every single week, right? So having default meeting times, templated email responses, you know what people are asking you all the time. And if you have templated email responses and you're starting to get to that, consider like an email sequence as well. But getting conversation for another day. Same thing with automating your invoices, having contract templates, right? Templates and things like that are ways to eliminate decision making. And then also, once you start adopting different tools and things like that, Airtable. I love Airtable. That's the only real software that I'm going to say out loud multiple times. I love Airtable. All the other ones, whatever you want to use is what you want to use, but yeah, you can start setting recurring tasks in there as well, for recurring admin work and things like that. Maybe next episode we'll talk about technology. Okay, step 2, build a business that thinks for you. Okay, that thinks for you. So I use the my gym example. So my gym is in my house. When I get there, when I walk in the room, there is uh, basically a calendar, like for lack of a better word, like it's a workflow that says, okay, if it is this day, then this. If it is this day, then this. If it is this day, then this, right? And so it's very, very clear. Your system should whisper the next move to you before you even have to think about it. So I don't have to think about nothing. I just have to show up at the gym and then check the board. Oh, okay. Boom. It's Thursday. This is what we're doing today. Boom. So this is the same way that like when you know that your team, your delivery team needs certain information from the client in order to start working, then you know that you're going to need an intake form that has all that information, right? Your team doesn't just need name and email. Like that does nothing for your delivery team. So your intake form needs to be deliberate and intentional so that your team doesn't have to think about these things. Here's all the information on a silver platter, right? Same thing, like your workflows, within your workflows, there should be places for automation where it makes sense. Whole conversation for another day. You cannot automate everything, please, please. But there needs to be places that are automated so that you don't have to think about them. Again, when there was the assembly line, there was somebody putting on the cap, putting on the cap, putting on the cap, putting on the cap. Because you realize that that is a thing that happens over and over and over, now they can build a machine to do it. But it's not before. You don't build the machine and then be like, oh, we're just going to stick it here, where you don't know if you can build a machine that's going faster than the person that was doing it. Okay, so you really have to pay attention to what you're automating. But yeah, and then lastly, your SOPs are how you make sure that there are consistent outcomes, right? So when you put the cap on, twist 3 times to the left or to the right, whatever way you do a cap. Obviously, I'm not in that role. I didn't read the SOP, right? But the SOP is how you get consistent outcomes, especially when you're outsourcing. I feel like this kind of scares people a lot because when you start to outsource some of the thinking and you start to hire a team and all of those things, it's like, are they going to give me back something that still has the essence of me? They will if you have workflows and SOPs so that they don't have to think, they just do exactly your thinking, right? And so when you design your business this way, you're not just saving time, you're saving your brain. Now you have time to go speak at conferences. Now you have time to go to investor meetings. Now you have time to follow up. Now you have time to go live on Thursdays, right? And you're not worried about, oh my gosh, it's so, right? And so, okay, so the third step is to protect your visionary brain. You need to block off some think time. Don't bother me during this time. This is the same as any other meeting where nobody can schedule over it, but you need to have think time where you protect your visionary time. This is your time to think, dream, ideate, all of these things to really, really, really dig into it, right? Protect that visionary time. And honestly, that being able to really amplify your vision and really like have a very good idea of your vision and clearly flushed out, like what you really, really want it to look like, is how then when you partner with a COO or you partner with somebody who has an operations brain, they're able to like find all of the pieces and figure out how to give your business legs, right? And so think about it like this: like if you are the artist, right, and you've made this beautiful canvas, your operations person is the frame, and now you can be hung anywhere, right? And it's great. Like delegation is not this luxurious, oh, whatever. If you want your business to grow, delegation is a necessity. So yes, again, I'm never going to say you can't do both. You absolutely can if that's what you feel like you want to do. But I work with a lot of businesses who have gotten to like 15, 30, 40K months, and they really get stuck. And a lot of the times that they're stuck is because the CEO is still acting as an operator. The CEO is still doing so much hands-on work. They're fried, their brain is fried, and they can't do the actual CEO stuff. Like you have to build systems if you want to grow. That's non-negotiable. That's non-negotiable. You have to have some sort of delegation. And delegation doesn't always mean to a person, but you have to have some sort of delegation if you want to grow. So, I'm always here to be honest. I'm always here to be honest with the people. If every idea is running through you, if you have to approve every single thing, you just have a to-do list, right? The to-do list is never ending. And I feel like this is like where like the stereotype of, oh, well, well, I would quit my job, but as an entrepreneur, you just work way more hours. And it's because when we had our 9 to 5s, there were other teams and other people to pass to and other information. And, you only had to do your one small job, right? Now, as a CEO, now you're trying to do all 50 of those jobs. Think about how many people were at your last company, right? Thousands. Even if there were hundreds, you are only one person. And so it's important to be able to recreate an ecosystem for delegation and for growth, while also like avoiding some of the things that don't quite make sense, which I think companies that get so big so fast, they don't always pause. I have a lot of clients who like to go really, 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 really fast. And so it's my job as their data systems operations person to really understand what all of that means. Okay, cool. You want to build 3 new offers. What does that mean? You want to do this. What does that mean? How do we operationalize this? Who's going to manage this? What KPIs are we linking to, et cetera, et cetera? But I mean, I love it here. You know what I mean? Like, I love systems. It's not just because they're pretty and cute and, all the things. Like, they really help protect the potential of ideas and really help expand them. So it's really cool. Actually love partnering with very visionary founders and like just let them talk. Like, I'll just be like, what does this look like in 10 years? And let them go and figure out, okay, what can we build in the next 30, 60, 90 days that will get us closer to that 10-year vision ASAP. So I love that. Okay, so if you've been on my lives, you know that I have been raffling off 6 months of my services. It actually closes tomorrow. Interestingly enough, y'all, it is actually, for me at least, it has been harder to give my services away for free than it is to sell them, which has been interesting. And I guess just really a big blessing. So many people that have got on the call, sometimes they didn't even realize that there was a raffle going on. And then I told them like, hey, there's a raffle going on. And they were just like, okay, I mean, okay, cool. But, I came here, with my card in hand, and that's whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and close it tomorrow. So if you haven't already joined, please do. But if you have joined, and especially like if you can give me some live feedback at the moment too. Sorry, if you want to join the raffle, there's a link in my bio. All you have to do is book a call. I think I have some openings left today and tomorrow. But for the people who don't win the raffle, I want to give them a gift. And so if you're on right now, I'd love to hear your feedback on um, I'd love to hear your feedback on the gift that I give the people who don't win, because one, I've just had a great time like meeting everybody. Um, and yeah, people take time out of their day. It's important to, you know, say thank you. So I'm thinking about a couple of things. One, I'm thinking about an ebook slash mini course. And when I say mini course, I just mean like, everybody's a different learner. I used to be a teacher, if you didn't know. So I try to make sure that there's multiple ways to learn from me. Sometimes video, sometimes, by reading. And so I'm thinking if I have an ebook, I really want to talk about the operational needs that you need at different phases of business. And so when I say different phases of business, for the sake of this example, I'm talking about different revenue bands. There are so many people who um, kind of use, okay, I'm here to be honest. Some people who use operations or lack of operations as an excuse for why they can't just launch, right? I work with service-based businesses. You have a service, you don't need anything to start, okay? All you need to do is just start. And so some people will be like, oh, but I can't start because I don't have ops. If you don't get out there and do what you do, right? Like if you have expertise or if there is something that you can do to help people, just start helping people. Like it's literally just that simple. But there are some operational needs that you need between like that 0 to 15K months. And I want to be able to talk about that. Once you start getting to like 20, 25, 30, 40, 50K months, you need ops. Like you need them. You may not need like HubSpot enterprise level systems, but you do start needing systems. And then once you start to get in your 6-figure months, then you have different operational considerations. And so I'm writing an ebook that talks about the different phases, what you need and what you don't need, because people will try to sell someone early in business, these huge operational systems. And it's just like, you actually don't need that. Like you might need Google Suite, and that's okay. Yeah, if I ever get to a point, y'all, where you see me trying to sell somebody something for the sake of selling them, please just remind me of this live and just remind me to come back down to earth, because I don't know. I don't know if that means I'm missing out on sales, whatever. I stand by it. I'm cool with it. Okay, so that's the first one. And then I'll attach videos too that go with it. Okay, second gift I'm thinking about, Black Friday is coming up, and a lot of people like get an uptick in sales, which is great. But then like they have all these people come in and then they can't quite deliver well. And like Black Friday is about like dopamine hits for your clients. And when you have a service-based business, we don't always get to serve them immediately, because it takes time. And so um, because of that, I want to be able to give a discounted rate to my 30-day client onboarding sprint, which is how you make sure that you can get clients in and deliver what you're delivering faster. And yeah, faster. So the more people you can get in, the more people you can deliver to well. Now they tell all their friends. And now instead of 40 bad reviews, you have 40 advocates. And so that's what I'm thinking, offering that as 40% off if you didn't win the raffle. And then the last thing I'm thinking about is like some operations coaching, which will just be like a couple of weeks. I'm thinking either 4 weeks, 1 hour, or 2 90-minute sessions, and maybe I build you a workflow or something like that. But just to get some ops coaching, super small group, like 5 or 6 folks come in. That way you can hear from other businesses, like what's going on. But the thing about it, and this is another thing too, y'all, I'm not a hater, I promise. But the thing is, not the operational systems that you see on the market, especially the ones that are like all-in-one ops system or all-in-one this, all-in-one, all-in-one, all-in-one. Anytime you see something that says all in one, you have to remember that every single business is different. And so people ask me all the time, oh, what's the best tools? What's the best tools? What's the best tools? It depends. And anybody who gives you a straightaway answer, they're trying to sell you something. Like, honestly, like, I need to know more about your business, what your goals are. I need to know, is your team technical? Because if they're not, you should probably not be using N8N. Because if it breaks, y'all are going to be stuck, right? And you would hate for like Black Friday to come in, there's something going, something breaks, and your team does not have the expertise to be able to fix it. And so all of these things, like, it really depends. And so the third gift that I'm thinking about offering is like some operations coaching, so that people can really be able to ask questions and interact and all of those things. Yeah. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about those three gifts, either the ebook offering 40% off the services, which means that like I would do it for you, or the operations coaching, so you can really ask questions about business. I'm not sure which one of those gifts I want to give away, but yeah. Um, oh, this is the last thing too. So the raffle is closing. We talked about that. I'm offering 3 gifts if you did join the raffle. If you didn't win, I still want to make sure to give you something. And then if you have not already heard, I have started a newsletter finally. It's kind of been sitting and collecting dust, but um, yeah, ready to empty the clip. And so I am starting a newsletter, and that is where I'm going to start giving 1 second dibs to all of whichever one of the gifts that I end up giving to the people who didn't win the raffle. But um, yeah, I just really walking through different business things that I'm seeing, probably give you more of a little bit of insight about like what's going on with my clients as well. Like, there are some specific examples that I want to share about my client's journey and the things that we've fixed, to see if they may help you. And so just getting in a little bit more deeper into certain things, just kind of think about like an extension of SOS Live, but a little bit more specific. And then also like we'll be able to respond back and forth like that. I guess that's been like my biggest hesitation about starting a newsletter, is I want people to respond. And so the lives are nice, the comments are nice, the DMs are nice, because we can go back and forth and we can live solve. And so I want to do that same thing via email as well. And so, yeah, I will drop that link into the link in bio, or if you're on the live, I'll just DM it to you. Yeah, so if you want the link, you can just comment it now, and I will DM you the link to the newsletter. So the first issue is going to drop on Sunday, as my grandmother would say. And I'm actually, yeah, just really excited about it. So yeah, a lot of things in the works. But yeah, don't let decision fatigue be the reason that, your creativity and your vision starts dwindling. Stay big, stay visionary, and just find somebody who who alternatively is, that systems and structure person. Vet the people, meet them, talk to them. I'm not saying it's me, because we may not vibe. And if we don't vibe, I don't want to work with you either. But do your vetting. If you are a visionary founder, all of those things, really, really consider staying in your zone of genius and finding a partner, an operational partner, who can help you build legs and that match your vision. You don't have to do both. Doing everything is not scalable. And so, yeah, that is season 2, episode 2 of SOS Live. I will DM you the link to the newsletter if you are on TikTok. If you are on LinkedIn, I will put it in the comments. If you are on YouTube, I will put it in the description. And yes, we will see you next week. Bye, y'all.